the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
Being the conservative organization that they tend to be, which I don't want it to happen, but knowing this team the way I do, I feel like that's what's going to happen.
JP, talk me off the Falcons ledge, please.
All right, let's see if we can do this.
Please, JP. Jarrett's not going to do it. Please, JP.
I mean, I can definitely try. I don't have any. Here's the thing.
All right.
Go ahead, JP.
It could be worse. You could be the Panthers. No,
that's true.
In all seriousness, the Falcons are one position away from actually being very good, but it's the problem that's been with the Falcons since Matt Ryan left. So really, you're just hoping you get a good coach who can find the quarterback. And I think this is the perfect spot for a guy who might have already had coaching experience as a head coach and not the hotshot coordinator. I don't think Ben Johnson takes this job.
It is interesting he's the co-favorite with Belichick. Like, you could not be more different in Belichick and Ben Johnson in terms of the next coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
I think Bill Belichick is going to remain in New England.
Oh.
Because I think him saying he is willing to give up personnel today is very profound. I think that is a very big thing that people kind of looked over today. Him willing to give up personnel is saying, like, yeah, I'm willing to make this work so I can stay here.
And I know Ziegler's back on the market, so he's back in New England, and he can take that back over.
Because, I think, Bill Barnwell said, over the last half of the season, the Patriots have been one of the best defenses in the league. That he still can coach. He is still a hell of a coach. It's just they need some non-Patriots ideas in that front office. So just let Bill give up the personnel decisions to somebody who comes from somewhere else with different ideas. I don't think Bill's leaving.
Interesting.
I would really like Raheem Morris for this Falcons job.
Interesting.
I think he has done a fantastic job with this Rams defense and getting basically chicken salad out of chicken crap, Aaron Donald and chicken crap. And he's already had the experience. I think
he's been the interim before in Atlanta.
Players love him. He'd also probably take Eric Henderson. I believe that's his name, the defensive line coach from the Rams. He'd probably take him with him as a defensive coordinator. Another rising star in the industry. Dude's awesome. I think the Falcons, again, they're a good coaching hire and a quarterback away from actually turning this thing around. Now it just really depends on what you do with quarterback because, unless you plan on trading up for one of the guys, which I don't think they will, you can always trade for a guy or sign someone in free agency if you really think you're a quarterback away from turning this around, especially when if you look around the division, Baker Mayfield's on a one-year deal. The Panthers are still not it. The Saints are that guy at the blackjack table who's constantly saying, hit me every time they go over 21. You can sign a Russell Wilson and be like, hey, let's see if we can make this work.
No.
I think Russ would be at his best in either Pittsburgh or
also, he's
Atlanta.
not allowed in Atlanta. Future is from here. That's not going to fly.
It would be hilarious. I think
he would get booed. I'm not kidding. Future is I don't think that works. I don't think it's allowed. I genuinely don't think that would go over well.
I think for Russ's career, I think he would be at his best in Atlanta because what Russ does now is he is a touchdown or check down thrower. He is a 40-yard play or a check down. What were the Falcons? They were missing that explosive component of the offense. They were missing somebody who would throw the ball downfield and get the most out of those skill position talents. I think Russ can do that. I think Justin Fields obviously is priority number one if you can get him. I think Justin Fields would rock in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But if you
I just don't like the trading the quarterback stuff. Those rarely go well. I think it's just you want to reset the contract clock I think I would rather go first round quarterback. Just have that. That's
Ooh.
just. I mean, that's the thing. Is like I think you can trade up. I think they have the firepower to trade up for one with the
Who
Bears.
you?
Because the Bears, I think, will end up trading that pick. I think you can get into that number one spot and then take Mayer Caleb.
Are you sure the Bears aren't taking a quarterback?
I think that the Bears are taking a quarterback and moving off.
I don't know about that.
I think it is in the best interest of both the Bears and Fields to move on.
Yeah.
I think Fields needs to be in another environment to grow, and I think the Bears need to reset the clock.
But they also could reset the clock and trade back. Like if they get the Falcons number 8, they could still take Jaden Daniels or whoever back.
Why
then.
can't the Falcons take Jaden Daniels at 8 then, huh?
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't know if Daniels. The thing about Daniels,
I don't think Daniels going to make it to 8.
I don't
By
either.
the way, but again, this is where the Falcons have always been bad enough to get to top 10, but not like good enough to be just in the top 10, but not bad enough to be in quarterback range. So
that's the whole thing. It's like, hey, guess what? When was the best Falcons era of the last 30 years in my lifetime? I'm 32. What happened? What was the What happened? You took Matt Ryan and as the first QB take. Like, it's just how this works. Like, if you want the best route to long-term success in the National Football League, it's still drafting a quarterback high in the first round. That's still the best path. It's not trading for Justin Fields. It's just not.
I think Justin Fields would be really fun in Atlanta with that skill position talent, with a good offensive coordinator in tow. But if you look at where the Falcons are right now, who are you going to, outside of Chicago, if they decide to keep Fields, who are you going to trade up with that's in quarterback range? I mean,
yeah.
Arizona at 4, you still could find yourself on the outside looking in.
Yeah, I think 4's too late. I don't think you're going to be able to do that.
So I think at this point, the Falcons are better off trading for Fields, who I still think can be a good quarterback in the NFL. I think Fields in Atlanta with that skill position talent, they find a good coordinator. I think that would be really fun. And if it works, you can sign the 5th year. You can sign him to the 5th year. You know, you don't have to pick up the 5th year option immediately with Justin Fields. Just let it ride.
I mean, what I would do in terms of, and I tweeted about this, this is the perfect situation for the Falcons, for me, in my mind at least, is if Ben Johnson does take the job, then you trade for Justin Fields. Brock Bowers is there at 8. Then take Brock Bowers, run 12 personnel all season long with Brock Bowers, Kyle Pitts, Bijan, and Drake London in the field at the same time. Just turn them basically into Lions South and just giggle your way to an NFC South title.
If you draft Brock Bowers, I don't think Kyle Pitts is on the roster.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Sounds like a lot of fun to me.
I just that Arthur Smith would love that. That is an Arthur Smith type deal.
Arthur Smith ass pick.
Yeah, it's not going to happen with this.
Also, Jonnu Smith is still like under contract, and I think everybody in Atlanta loves Jonnu Smith. So, I
like Jonnu Smith. He was good.
They are better off. I think they are much better off trading for a quarterback, and then using that 8th overall pick to go get another pass rusher, to go get a guy like Dallas Turner or something.
That I'd be okay with. But also, you could trade up in the first round. Take Dallas Turner at 8, and then trade back and trade up for either Bo Nix or Michael Penix.
You're trading into the first round for Bo Nix or Michael Penix?
Yeah.
You want Terry Fontenot fired.
Terry Fontenot does it. Hold on. Terry Fontenot is now cashing checks for. Never mind. I'm not going to say anything. Terry Fontenot is. I don't really know what he does here anymore. But yeah.
You want whoever runs that fired. Bo Nix and Michael Penix neither of them are going to be first round picks. In my opinion.
Do you not think either will be first rounders?
I think they will be.
I don't think either of them will be.
I don't think they should be.
I don't think either of them will be, because if you look at the teams who are currently QB needy, they all stop at like 13 with Vegas.
Pittsburgh Steelers say otherwise, Bob.
At 23, they're not going to pick a quarterback at 23.
I'm not saying that they should. I'm not ruling it out though.
It would be, there is no quarterback worth taking in the first round. We have seen this outside of the top 3, we have seen this same scenario play out
Absolutely.
last year. And then we saw it with the Kenny Pickett year where we're like, oh, we're going to get a bunch of quarterbacks going in the first round.
Yeah, and they all sucked.
They're
all
not
terrible.
going to go in the first round. I don't think Bo Nix is a first round quarterback. I don't think Michael Penix is a first round quarterback. And this is not being hyperbolic based on a national title game. You're just going to find it really hard to sell me on a guy who is 24 years old, has 4 season-ending injuries, and avoids the middle of the field like a plague.
Yeah.
And Bo Nix I don't think he does it from an NFL perspective for me. A lot of his yards were manufactured after the catch. And I just worry about him like actually having to read the full field and actually go through progressions. So like, yeah, there's not going to be, outside of Williams, May, and Daniels, I don't think there's going to be a first round quarterback this year.
Interesting. Pivoting a little bit here. Let's go to the best wild card round matchup. Which one is it for you, Jarrett Bailey? What do you think is the best one?
I think that it's Matthew Stafford going back to Detroit. Storyline wise and team wise, the Rams are the hottest team in the NFC right now. And personnel wise, man, like Stafford's played like a top 5 quarterback over the last month and a half. Puka Nacua, we know what he's done this season. He broke a bunch of rookie receiving records and whatnot. Cooper Kupp's still that guy. Kyron Williams coming out of nowhere and being a really good running back. Mike probably will get all pro votes, by the way. Kyron Williams will. Like, he's had a fantastic year. And then defensively, JP already talked about the job that Raheem Morris has done on that side of the ball. Like, we all joked coming into this year, like, name 5 players that play for the Rams defense, and most people probably couldn't. But they've got a lot out of guys like Kobe Durant. Akilla Witherspoon had a really solid season coming over from Pittsburgh. They were just a cast of misfit guys.
Go. Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas podcast. Hell yeah.